Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the 1-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.20. There has been no price movement for XRP. We're in this channel between $2.20 and $2.25. I just want to see XRP break out already. I get your frustration. I read through the comments and I see how frustrated a lot of you are. But you gotta stay patient just a little while longer. You know, May is supposed to be big for XRP. But then again, April was supposed to be a huge month. Even March was supposed to be a huge month for XRP. But here we are, still waiting for that breakout to happen. The good thing is, Bitcoin is still holding up. It's sitting just under 97K. Hopefully, Bitcoin finally starts to go on a massive run-up. I would like to see Bitcoin come in somewhere between 120 and 150K. I think it's going to struggle to get there, but I'd like to see that breakout start already, because then I know we are very close to XRP really having an epic run. Today, the S&P 500 records its 9th straight day of positive gains. And if you look at the S&P, that's a good indicator that the crypto market might actually start to move now as well. I see some people saying it's not going to hold up, expect a major crash next week, but I would not be so sure of that yet. I always like to see where things go from here. I always like to stay positive at the same time. Analyst predicts XRP price rally above $3, but first a downward move below $2. I see a lot of people saying the same thing. Expect a drop below $2 and then a massive breakout to begin. But I wouldn't be so sure of that either. You know, right now, XRP looks very strong around $2.20. I'm expecting us to break upward. I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue upward as well, taking the rest of the market with it. But, you know, things can change very fast in crypto. But right now, everything looks great. I just want some sort of massive breakout to begin. Media personality says XRP's not dead, it's loading. And I would agree with that. I think what's going on is this. Right now, in the background, there's still a lot of things building out. Every once in a while, we get an announcement on something that Ripple just did. More rails put in place, the acquisition of Hidden Road. But on the front end, it's like all we hear about is Bitcoin on the mainstream media news. But I think XRP is loading up for an epic run. And the price action is boring on purpose, he says. Despite widespread criticism, XRP continues to hold above $2. According to Squire, XRP's underwhelming price performance may be intentional. He cited on-chain metrics showing rising volume and a cooling RSI. Squire argues that smart money moves quietly and buys when attention is elsewhere. Plus, we got to worry about the buying on the dark pools, where there's no real impact on the price of XRP. But that impact is eventually going to show up in the price anyway. And I think what's going on with smart money is it's shifting finally. It's the same reason that now, all of a sudden, you see stock investors talking about crypto. Because you can't ignore this space anymore. They have to get involved or they're going to get left behind. damage SEC did to XRP price. Pundit says XRP suppression wasn't just price. He says it was also time. And I agree with that. And I think time is more valuable than money. I've said that multiple times. But a lot of people took a major hit back in 2020. Since then, it's been years in the shadows for XRP. And that's why Ripple left the United States and went and built out overseas. And that was a great move on the part of Ripple. Why sit back and do nothing and just fight with the SEC when you could be building rails all around the world? Ripple became a global company because of this lawsuit. And, you know, even when we thought there was light at the end of the tunnel, remember when Judge Torres said XRP is not a security? I thought that was going to be the takeoff point. I thought that's when we were finally going to start seeing institutions announce that they were working with XRP. But instead, nothing really happened, and the case continues to drag on even still. We need that clarification from the SEC, because institutions, they're not like retail investors. They won't just throw money into something. They need that confirmation from the SEC first. And I want to see Atkins finally come out and say, we're done with the Ripple versus SEC case. And maybe they come to terms behind closed doors and we never know what those terms are. I could live with that, because once this case ends, us as XRP investors, we're going to start to see that institutional adoption happen. And it's going to start with that case coming to an end. But they did steal a lot of time from XRP holders. You know, for the last 4 years, nothing happened in the United States. It was like crypto was just dead and nothing moved forward. No innovation, no growth. Ripple still made some traction here in the US, but most of the traction came from overseas. If that case would have never started, XRP right now would be above 2 digits. So one good thing about it happening is a lot of XRP holders had time to accumulate XRP. Very big. Ripple partner Tranglo joins forces with Circle. I hope you guys took a selfie from a couple days ago when I told you to, and I hope you all patted your heads and rubbed your stomachs in a circular motion. But it wasn't Tranglo partnering with Circle. It's actually Circle and On a Freak. And that has a lot of people speculating that Ripple already made the acquisition of Circle behind closed doors. I just don't think that happened. I'm not ready to say, yes, that's what I think happened. And even this, Ripple is extremely unlikely to offer Circle $20 billion. I don't think they ever made this offer at all. It's way too high, in my opinion. If anything, I could see maybe Ripple going to as high as 8 or 9 billion. You got to remember, Circle needs Ripple more than Ripple needs Circle. We already know that Coinbase gets $1 billion of Circle's income. I mean, if you're getting $1 billion from Circle and leaving them with like $100 and some million, Circle definitely needs to get out of that deal. That deal is no good at all going forward. They should have took the Ripple buyout. Ripple could have negotiated a whole new deal with Coinbase and most likely got it way down from where it is right now. I think this acquisition will happen, but I don't think that Ripple offered $20 billion. And Ripple CEO says Ripple is focused on acquiring companies, not pursuing an IPO. Every single day I see people saying, Ripple's going to IPO within the next 2 or 3 months. But Brad is in no hurry. He has said that multiple times. They're focused on acquisitions and building out Ripple, and also adding utility to XRP as well. Now, will they IPO in 2026? Maybe. But usually when a company does an IPO, they need liquidity. Ripple doesn't need the liquidity. In fact, they have billions of dollars in cash sitting on the balance sheet. So there's no need for an IPO right now. What I would like to see happen is this. I want to see Ripple buy up a few more companies throughout 2025 that will strengthen XRP. And this way we make money off of that. You know, anything that adds utility and use case to XRP, I'm all for it. We don't get rich off of Ripple doing things. We get rich off of XRP doing things, like moving a lot of value on a daily basis. 71% of Binance traders are bullish on XRP amid Eric Trump fueled Ripple Swift rumors. Is a major breakout coming? I absolutely think that breakout is within a few weeks away, maybe even as close as next week. All it takes is something big to drop. I see a lot of people saying this weekend's going to be big for XRP, but nobody really knows. We need something big, like a catalyst, to happen. That will get things moving once again. And the fact that people are paying attention to how broken the SWIFT system is, that's really good, because we already know the SWIFT system's broken, but a lot of people outside of crypto, they don't realize it. You know, they go and they put their check in the bank, they let it sit in their checking account, they use their debit card. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But if they try to send money across borders, all of a sudden they will realize how broken this system absolutely is. And there's a good chance that Ripple's going to steal a lot of Swift's business, because Swift's customers are not happy customers. I said that in a video yesterday. You seen how Eric Trump talked about the banking system. He's frustrated with it. Oh, I guarantee you, out of those 11,000 customers that Swift has, most likely 9,000 to maybe 10,000 of those customers are unhappy customers. And the other handful, they've been doing it and dealing with it so long, they're used to how broken the system is. The system needs an upgrade, and that is going to make us as XRP holders very rich. Expert explains how hidden dark pools may be absorbing XRP by pressure. Now, we talked about these dark pools in previous videos. And, you know, I think what's going on is the institutions are accumulating a lot of XRP before the price really breaks out. So there's a good possibility of that, because we see the whale activity, and it's not retail whales. It's not the people that have been in this space for a long time that hold a lot of XRP. I mean, the amount of XRP that's moving is like 150 million XRP at a time. That's why I think it's institutional buying. But like I said, anything that's bought through these dark pools, that's going to add value to XRP anyway, because if it's institutions buying it, they're going to be locking it away. And it's going to get locked away for long periods of time, which is going to lead us to demand and scarcity. But he's so adamant about finding out about these dark pools, there's even a petition about it now. The missing piece, Ripple's voice. Ripple has never confirmed or denied it, and that silence adds mystery. A change.org petition with 300 plus signatures demands answers. Still waiting, and you see it right here. Demand transparency about XRP and usage of dark pools from Ripple and CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And if you want to sign that petition, you could do it on change.org. Honestly, I think it's real, because we already know that there's a lot of XRP out there that's unaccounted for as well. I think some of this XRP ended up in the hands of some of these institutions a long time ago. And it's still being bought today by some institutions. Like I always told you, if you're selling your XRP, either the whales are buying or institutions are buying. One day you're going to go and you're going to sell XRP, hoping to buy back later, and all of a sudden you're going to be paying a very high price for XRP. But right now, like I said, we're just going sideways still. I'm hoping a breakout happens. I really want to see that happen. Because once that begins, all of a sudden, things will change very quick. You're going to get that FOMO. You're going to get all the people hyped up about XRP again. Right now, a lot of people are frustrated because they expected a breakout to happen already. And a lot of the reason that people are frustrated is because people have been expecting this breakout for months now. But it seems like we're still in that calm before the storm. But you know, it is absolutely coming. You just got to stay patient long enough until it happens. Like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.